Cups, we also have Sandra Barron. Woo! We have Joseph Barron. Woo! We have Michelle Krim, that's at the doors, our lovely hostess. We have Frankie Simmons. And we have the handsome, not other, Aaron Melvin in the back there.
Trying to hide.
And in addition to that, we have a beautiful production hostess. Her name is LeBeau. So, LeBeau. And Christopher, who's hiding back there at the door. So, thank you for coming out. 1 Million Cups was founded by the Kaufman Foundation in 2012. So 1 Million Cups is based on the notion that entrepreneurs come together, engage, connect, and educate one another on what they're doing in the community. And so we pride ourselves in being able to provide resources and connections. So that's what we're about. We're all over the United States. We're at 160 different communities. Everyone tries to meet at 9 a.m. So there you go with 1 million cups of coffee. So without further ado, if you would take out your most expensive possession on you right now and put it on silence and go to the 1 Million Cups app. The value of checking in the app is that if you see someone here and they had to leave pretty soon or early because they have to be business to conduct, you can connect with them. So, okay, how 1 Million Cups work? Who has seen Shark Tank? That's not us. So we are more based on kindness and engagement and constructive criticism at times, but in a nice way. So we call ourselves the Dolphin Tank. So, you're the best of the best. The best of the best is here at Fort Worth 1 Million Cups, so we pride ourselves in that. So keep calm because you are the best. We never want any of our presenters walking away saying, with this face, that was awful. We don't want to be like Shark Tank. We are not asking for money or anything like that. We are asking for support and engagement and connections. So, also, if you would go, if you're on LinkedIn, that's a great platform for business owners or serious business owners. You can go to the LinkedIn app. You can click on the two heads down at the bottom, and you can select nearby. And you can see someone else in the room, in addition to the 1 Million Cups app, you can see someone else in the room that you want to connect with. As I said, please silence your most expensive possession. And that is old. That should be new. Is that one? Yeah, that's old. Yeah. Well, there's going to be another.
This is next year, 2020.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So, a message from the Kaufman Foundation. You want to do I want to find the one. You want to keep working? That's a presentation. Okay, that's another presentation that Sandra Barron does so well. She's not going to do that today, though. So I get the pleasure of introducing our first speaker. So our first speaker is Laura.
Yes.
Laura with Venues and More. Get that right? She will have 6 minutes to present, and then she will get 20 minutes of Q&A from the entrepreneur community. All I ask is that during the 20-minute Q&A that you raise your hand and I call on you accordingly so everyone will get a chance to help her out and give her some input. So without further ado, we have, you guys ready? Okay, well, I'll talk some more. I have no problem talking. So while we're working with the technological difficulties. Challenges.
Opportunities.
Awesome sauce. Okay, let's give Lauren a good round of applause.
Thank you guys for letting me come here and speak. As she said before, my name is Laura Alatabi and I am with Venues and More. Now, if you would have seen me 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I never imagined myself to be in the position that I am right now. I was an elementary school teacher, and I made a change in my life, and now I'm an entrepreneur representing Venues and More, and I can't wait to tell you more about my story. So it all started with booking a birthday party. It seems like a simple idea, and it should be, but it's not. And here's how it goes. Venues want you to call them during business hours to book a birthday party. Imagine if airlines did that. They wanted you to call about availability or about pricing. Nobody would fly, right? And there are marketplaces that exist to make airline travel easier. And I thought to myself, why isn't there a solution that makes booking birthday parties easier? I know it's just a small step. Maybe people do it 2 or 3 times a year. They plan a party, but it takes so much effort. And I thought there has to be a better way. And so, as you can see, this is how you used to book a party. And so I started the company in 2018. So that's why I put how you booked a party in 2017. And this is how you book a party today. As you can see, it's very simple. So I developed an online party marketplace specifically for parties and everything, all the vendors that go along in the party industry. And so as you can see now, all you have to do is click book now, and it books automatically. And so that was my struggle. I struggled with booking a birthday party, and so I built Venues and More to answer the question to my struggle. So I just wanted to give you an insight to what my party marketplace looked like. So if you were to click past the home page, you would see listings. And as you can see, we have mobile spa, we have a cool T-Rex birthday party, a couple of them, Reunion Tower. I mean, how many of you knew that you can throw a birthday party at the Reunion Tower? I surely didn't before I started my website. And what I love about my website is that it empowers small businesses. A lot of them do not have the ability to book a birthday party online. They simply require you to either fill out a form on their website or to call them. Both of those options are inconvenient for the working professional. And so that's exactly why I built Venues and More. A little bit more about my site. It includes the turnkey party packages, like you saw, the ones with the dinosaur. That's a really fun one. I'm not sure if you guys have been there, but so I'm from Allen, and so we have this little gym in Allen called the Dinosaur Company, and they produce animatronic dinosaurs that you'll see at the Dallas Zoo, at Heard Museum. They're all over the world, actually, and they just started offering birthday parties. And so they, consulted with me. What do they do? Let's put together a package. What sounds great? What would appeal to moms? And so, of course, my website includes packages like that, but it also includes venue rentals. If you're looking for a larger party, maybe a DIY bride, a quinceanera, things like that. We've even seen corporate bookings come through. And I built the site for busy moms, but I'm so thankful that other people and of other professions have found value in using the website. We also have catering, party entertainment, party decorations. Everything that you would need to plan a party is on one platform. So you don't have to go to many websites, you don't have to call anybody. You can just see what's available on Venues and More and book it directly. So I know a lot of you in this room are thinking that sounds great, but how do you make money? So I'm making money for the vendors. So they'll pay me a nominal fee to be on Venues and More. We have 2 structures, a basic subscription and a premium subscription. To be a premium subscription, you get up to 3 listings, and you also get featured on my podcast, which I'm excited to talk a little bit more about. So the podcast I launched this February called Party Planning Radio, and it's just an extension of my website. So what I do is I sit down and I talk to the entrepreneur from the listing. So for example, Carrie Stinson is on there, he's a photographer. I sat down with him and we just had a conversation, and I found out that he was Barney for 22 years. And it was a really great podcast, and that's just one of the many entrepreneurs I have interviewed. So we have 21 episodes so far, and it's pretty popular, and just another value add for the vendors who are on my site, as well as a value add for the consumers who want to get to know a little bit more about the vendors. Okay, I also have a meetup that I host for the vendors, and they get to know each other and talk too much. Basically, first to market, I'm hoping to disrupt the way that we book birthday parties. A little bit about me. I was a former teacher, like I said. I'm a mom of triplets, so busy on my own time. And they're the reason why I have created Venues and More. I would love for you to connect with me on the website, venuesandmore.com, as well as we are on all of the social platforms, including LinkedIn as well. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk to you today.
Okay, so the next question is, what can the Fort Worth 1 Million Cups community do for you?
So I am from Allen, and so I haven't ventured over to Fort Worth as far as presenting, and so I would just like to know from you, what are your favorite places to host birthday parties? What are some places that you wish had online booking? And so that would kind of accelerate my inventory here in DFW and Fort Worth. I do have vendors that travel that will come here, so the site is still useful for you at this point, but I just want to make it more useful for the crowds in Fort Worth. Also, just by going on the site, telling a friend, connecting with me on social. As you guys know, as a small business owner, that's just invaluable, just to stay connected with me. I would love, an email from you. I just would like to be connected to what's going on in Fort Worth.
Okay, questions? Christopher and then Bo.
Alright, so first I want to say this is an awesome idea.
Thank
We
you
had
so
to
much.
book a birthday party for my mother at Main Event recently, and it was sheerly brutal because it was just back and forth phone calls for 2 weeks.
And they have online booking, so it shouldn't be that difficult.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree.
But one thing that I would suggest is just something to think about for your
Yeah.
pricing is
Yeah.
possibly, instead of just subscription, a lower subscription plus commission.
Okay.
Because you could be leaving a lot of money on the table if bigger clients start coming to you, because for them, that subscription is a drop in the bucket.
Yes.
The other thing is the story about the T-Rex guys.
Yes.
I would have liked a little more lead-in for that,
Okay,
because
sure.
I understood what the point of it was after about a minute, but it was unexpected, so I wasn't quite sure where you were going with
Right,
it.
right.
So just talking about getting one of your early clients that would
Sure.
help me get on the same page.
Sure,
But
sure.
overall,
Understand.
awesome.
Thank you.
Bo, and then Joe.
First of all, congratulations. It looks like
Thank you
you've
so
done
much.
a lot of great work already. So the presentation, everything was really good. Great idea. The question I have is, what form of entertainment are you making available? Are you looking to expand on that? And how do you go about booking your talent? Like, where are you getting people from?
So as far as entertainment, we focus on the party aspect. So,
Mhm.
we have people who deal with animals, and so we have, a guy he deals with snakes, and he calls himself a comedian. I don't, sometimes I don't put those two together, but it makes people like at ease when he's joking around, and, but anyway, he's a great guy. I have a podcast with him if you want to learn more about him. We have Critter Man, he comes in with different animals, also a funny guy. But for me, it's just been outreach, and then sometimes, when a vendor gets to know about me, they'll tell their other vendors,
Yeah.
and so it kind of spreads like that.
Joseph and then this gentleman.
Have you ever booked a party yourself that was a nightmare?
Not through the site.
No, just booking a party. Have you ever booked, before the site, have you ever booked a party that was a nightmare for you to book?
Yes.
Okay,
And,
start with that story.
yeah,
Have you ever booked a party? Well, I booked one and it was, like Christopher said,
right,
and then go into your presentation.
right.
Yes, sir.
Just when I was hearing your story, it made me think of one of my coworkers who, she was kind of the voluntold person to do our company parties. For, you can tell that she loved doing it, but she had to make so many phone calls even during work hours, and it just made me think that could be important for you, especially for small businesses where there's not usually volunteers who have to do this.
Right.
There is a budget,
To
but
kinda make
no
their
one's
life
actually doing it.
easier.
Yeah, she worked hard in putting these together, and I think she would really appreciate it, having had something.
Oh,
Right, absolutely.
Frankie?
Yeah, so I know you said that you had like some corporate clients coming through, and one thing maybe for the future to think about is like people, like business venues for people who are hosting workshops or events, like we just wrapped up Global Entrepreneurship Week, so many people in this room like had to book venues for those events, and it can be like also similarly challenging to find stuff for that, so that might be a good place to expand. And I'm curious, like what has marketing looked like on the consumer side of like getting people to your site to make it worthwhile for the vendors?
Sure. So on the consumer side, I try to do as many vendor fairs to my target audience as I can. I've gone to, and it's kind of unexpected because they're not expecting my service. But we've done like trunk or treats, so that's a place to find moms. I was so exhausted in October, so I'm glad that month has passed. I mean, it's a great opportunity to reach people, but it is very exhausting. Finding them that way on all of the mom groups around Dallas-Fort Worth. So I'm active in all of those, and then I'll have friends that are in the same groups that maybe I don't see that request, and my friends will tag my business, and so it's just kind of grown organically. And I also try to speak with mom groups in the area if I can, just to let them know there's a better way. You don't have to call the venue.
Amber?
Are you focused mainly on birthdays? Because, I know you had some corporate clients trickle in, but
Right.
me, for example, I'm pretty much past the birthday party planning stage. But we've had to plan how many events in the last year? So I feel
Don't
like
remind me.
if your birthday party is your story about how you got started, but there's a much broader market if you're interested in it. So if you mention parties and maybe you use the word events some of the time,
Right.
and not tag it with birthday every time, so that people are reminded that there's, that it's for them as well.
Right.
You don't have to have kids to be a customer for you.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I'll say that kind of the same thing is when you had a slide of the services and they were all kids related, and I was like, well, I don't have kids, so,
Right.
I was immediately kind of like, whoa. And then you started talking more about how you've expanded it, so
Right.
became interesting. But yeah, at first I was like, well, is this just for kids' parties?
Right, yeah, that's exactly why I named it Venues and More.
Right.
I wanted to start with the birthday parties, but I know that that's not the end of the hassle of booking events.
Two areas you could look into is the Highlands and Sundance Square. All of the restaurants in those areas are like very well known for people to gather, to want to have events and meet up, because for a person like me and many of the people in this room, we have a lot of people that we have connections with in Dallas, and the Highlands is like a meeting grounds for us that's kind of in the middle. And then also downtown Fort Worth, a lot of those areas.
Right.
And then another thing is, like she was saying, opening it up. I don't know if you ever considered this, but production companies and filmmakers always need locations. We need film-friendly restaurants, hotels, different things like that.
Okay.
We're always looking for those things, and it's really hard to find them. And if there was like a middleman that was like, okay, we already know that this place is film friendly, and if you go through us, you won't have a hassle with trying to get them to allow you to film in their space.
Right.
Because if you're going to book a place for a birthday or whatever you're doing, it's a space that you'll need for a certain amount of time. Same thing with filming. And so it's a really big struggle. In going through the Fort Worth Film Commission and the Dallas Productions Association, they don't always assist as well as they might think that they do.
That's what it
Walker and Denver.
One of the mom groups in town that you probably want to check out is Tanglewood Moms.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're probably the biggest and most tight-knit group.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you if you know if you have any competition. I think I've come across something similar to this before.
Sure.
I have two kids, so we.
Yes.
Different parties. So I mean, I just feel like I've seen something similar.
Sure.
No.
So as far as competition, there are sites out there that allow you to book a venue specifically. There are sites out there that allow you to book the entertainment, the party entertainment, but they're all separate. And so my goal was to get them all on one platform, as well as Party City launched a site similar to mine at the very same time that I launched mine. Can you imagine? As like 2 years of thinking about this, and I'm like, why did I do this earlier? Which is what probably everybody in the room thinks. But for me, that's validation, because that proves that, there's a need out there. And so, it's hard going up against Party City, I would say that, but for me, I just try to get in the community and get to know the vendors. Like I said, I have meetups, so on Friday, I'm having a meetup. Last time we had over 20 vendors there that we just come, we eat, we get to know each other, we go, and then we make connections, and so I'm trying to do stuff that is not easily, producible if you're a big corporation. But I know that's not scalable, but I feel like it's giving me traction.
So just to bounce off something that you just said as what I think is a huge selling point, well, two things. One is you are far more convenient than other sites. So if a mom asked you, hey, why should I use your site? We've already got this one. Say, well, you can tell them you get everything in this one site. It's actually making booking convenient. And the other one is that, now I'm losing it. Is that another selling point is that you're offering something weird and different oftentimes. So like the snake comedian. Party City is not offering that on their site. And so that is, if you want, especially, is that you want to, it is a great selling point of, if you don't want the standard party for your kid, well, come to my site because you can find things that are still affordable, but they're unique.
Absolutely, and I just pride myself in partnering with small businesses, and that expands their reach. And like you're saying, like moms get to know about other birthday parties out there, versus just the standard few.
I was just gonna, you're asking about what kind of places people, we did Alley Cats for our work party.
Okay.
That'd be very fun for kids too. It doesn't fit the theme of a small, small and weird, but it was fun.
Right. I like that.
Any more questions, comments? Well, without further ado, we thank you for your presentation and this awesome. Thank you so much. Representing you with this one-of-a-kind, like no other 1 million cups. On here, it says China, but it's cups handcrafted in novel areas. Okay. So, thank you very,
Thank you
very
so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, so while we're transitioning over, I have a special treat for you. Did you guys like the breakfast?
Yes.
Awesome. So we have the lovely Joan Meeks. She is a former organizer. She provided the breakfast. So thinking that, if you happen to want to be a breakfast sponsor for 1 Million Cups, We'll give you some time to come and tell what 1 million cups means to you, or whatever you wanna say, so let's welcome Joan.
Did you all enjoy the breakfast?
Yes.
There's more on the way out. Pick up some on your way out. I'm Joan Meeks, and I'm owner and founder of Commodity Recycling Solutions. We are going to be rebranding our company in 2020 to CRS, so I'm starting my promotions now. I purposely brought breakfast this morning as a thank you to 1 million cups. I was, Deidre and Sandra and Aaron were kind enough to allow me to be part of their hosting committee for a while, and then of course business took off. But I wanted to share with entrepreneurs this morning, we just celebrated our 7th year of business in October. And there are several people in this room today that are responsible for our success. We got Ricky McBride, I've done business with him. I've got Erica Hirsch over here, I've done business with her. Aaron and I have talked about some ideas. So basically I'm giving you hope. And the scenario that they say, if you can make it to 2 years, you're doing good. If you can make it to 5, it gets better. If you can make it to 7, you may actually go on vacation. My husband and I took our first vacation in 9 years back in October. We celebrated our 35th anniversary. But about 1 million cups, I'm encouraging you to not just come one time, but continue to come back. You meet old friends. We're heading into a new decade, which is kind of scary. You know, there's a big hype with my mastermind groups and my business coach, and he's talking about what are you going to do for the next decade. So 2020 should be a kickstart for a phenomenal year for you. Oh, I've done business with John over here. He is actually a really great recycler as well. We own a recycling company here in Fort Worth. I chose Fort Worth because I want to turn the city green from purple. So hopefully I will accomplish that in the next decade. We do electronic recycling, but we also do fundraising through donations of clothing, shoes, and books. So that's about me, but really it's about 1 million cups and what it can do for entrepreneurs. There are so many resources. This is a great campus. I'm excited y'all are back here. If you don't already know about, you know, the building next door and everything this campus has to offer, I encourage you to research it. We would not have been in business for 7 years without many of the people in this room, on this campus, and Fort Worth as a whole. We are connected to every 6th person in this room. Just talk to people and just ask them who they know. But I'm Joan Meeks, Commodity Recycling Solutions, CRS. I'm here to help you, and I hope that I can come back in 3 years and say that my business has survived 10 years. So thank you and happy holidays.
I'm not sure why. You need something? Walker? He said no. Okay.
Everybody welcome on Walker.
Yes.
Thanks for coming. Everybody get it.
You don't want to say something about accelerating your Come on.
My name's Walker. I'm the director of Accelerate DFW Foundation. We're housed in this building. We simply help entrepreneurs start their businesses.
Amazing platform. He's
Yeah.
our sponsor, and he talked us into coming back. He owes us $1 million. So.
I thought you were going to help me raise $1 million.
So without further ado, we're going to go into our next presentation. Our next presenter is Connie with Busy Bee.
I got a haircut.
Okay, so while you're hooking out in the way,
I'll tell you, I'm a little nervous, people.
you're amongst friends, right?
I'm glad you're off the table.
So while she's setting up, she also will have 6 minutes to present and tell us about her business endeavors, and then we'll give her 20 minutes from the 1 Million Cups community, Fort Worth, to help her out. Does anyone have any community announcements while we're at it?
Yes.
Anybody?
Somewhere on this computer that I couldn't find.
I think Christmas is coming up, right?
Yeah. And they can't get here fast enough. We have Albert Perez is teaching a Mr. Instagram course, and it's on our website, the 1 Million Cups Fort Worth Facebook page. And he's offering a 15% discount if you go in and get your ticket and put in 1 million cups. I believe it's $20 you do have to, and lunch is included. The second thing is, I can't remember.
My nerves are contagious.
The third thing, I can remember the third thing, it's the middle. The third thing is the entrepreneurship. The Entrepreneur of the Year is now out. You can go on the Fort Worth, it's a magazine, Fort Worth.
Fort Worth Inc. Business Press?
I'm not sure.
Thank God for Google.
Yeah.
Okay, Nick, what do you have?
Yes.
We have an event with Deirdre and Darlisa. It's Coffee and Conversations. It's next Friday at Happy State Bank in Bedford, 9:30 to 10:30. If you want some more information, you can come talk.
And I'm very competitive, so we're wearing ugly sweaters, and
Yes.
I guarantee mine's gonna be the ugliest.
Yeah.
Ugly sweater, bring it. Okay, so you wanna follow that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so without further ado, we're gonna let Connie have her 6 minutes, and then we'll be doing 20 minutes of Q&A as before. So let's give Connie a hand for the applause. We're busy.
Hello, everyone. It's great to see y'all here today. Are there any crafters, hobbyists, entrepreneurs, makers, anybody in here? All right. Well, Busy Bee Studio, I'd like to introduce you to, and it's the place to be creative. It will be a creative community workshop located in the North Fort Worth or a North Fort Worth suburban area. And my mission is to create or to build a community that fosters creativity and encourages collaboration. Now, my main target market are adults ages 18 and up that are local to the DFW area and who are crafters, creative workers, or those who just want to have some creative fun. Now, my core offering is what I call just space. Space to, spread out and get your work done. It will be a multi-use flex space, including studio workshop spaces for crafting and co-working, as well as for classes, meetings, workshops, and events, and more. It will be a creative place for our guests to come and explore, try something new, get some work done, and just belong to a creative community. Our guests are welcome to join us either for an hour or all day, or they can invest in their creative selves and become a member, giving them 24/7 access so that they can be creative on their own schedule. Our guests are welcome to bring in their own projects, their tools and supplies, food and drinks, and make themselves at home. And to assist them in their creative activities, the studio will offer free Wi-Fi, coffee, tea, and water, collaboration tools such as whiteboards and design walls, and as well as furnishings that they can borrow to customize their own space and make it their own. In addition, the studio will offer, either for free or a small additional fee, the use of equipment and tech, more snacks and drinks, tools and supplies and materials, and venues for the creative entrepreneurs to promote and sell their goods. Now, I'm Connie Allison, and as you can see, I was an accomplished artist at around the age of 6. Here recently, I felt like I needed to reconnect with creativity and community. I've spent about 18 years working for a big corporation and working at home and a bit isolated. So, I've spent a lot of time, like millions of people, on YouTube and Pinterest and found awesome things that I wanted to try out. But
I, like many other people, just don't have the space or don't want to spend the money on tools and equipment to try something out, and then I may not like doing it. Now, there are businesses that offer some solutions to these problems, and I call those like-minded businesses my muses. They all have their merits, but none were quite the right fit. So I decided to create Busy Bee Studio. It will be a craft industry business that is operated as a single-member LLC, and to the greatest extent possible will be bootstrapped from the ground up. It will be built and furnished using reused, recycled, and upcycled products. I thought that would be. Yeah. See, you made me lose my place, but that's okay. I'll try it again. Now, I chose to operate as an LLC because I want to be able to control the business environment in its entirety. It will allow me the flexibility to offer a humanistic company and be able to delight my employees as well as my customers. Now, along this path, there were 3 special entrepreneurs in my life. My aunt, who was a true artist, she owned and operated her own art gallery. She was an author, teacher, a seamstress, and a singer. And then there's my mom and dad, who built their business from the ground up and provided jobs, lots and lots of jobs for me and my siblings, as well as support for the community. Now, my dad, he was the really special one. He was a jack of all trades. He was a postman here in Fort Worth, downtown. He retired as a postmaster. He was a carpenter, mechanic, welder, you name it, he built it. Now, he also was a musician and a beekeeper. You recognize that word? Now, when I was a child, he would read me the bee book when he tucked me into bed at night. And the photograph you see here of the Beekeeping for Beginners is my framed copy of the bee book that he read to me. Now, the inspiration for this endeavor comes from you, the crafters, hobbyists, makers, entrepreneurs, and for like-minded businesses. And some of my muses you may have heard of before, such as Joanne, Dallas Makerspace, Painting with a Twist, or Shop Small Fort Worth. And there's many more out there. And until I have a masterpiece studio for this canvas here, I'm currently holding events, and this is photos from our crafters meetup that we have once a month. I just wanted to let y'all know more about Busy Bee Studio and let you know that all are welcome to join us and find out why Busy Bee Studio is the place to be creative.
Awesome. So in the next 20 minutes, how can the 1 Million Cups Fort Worth community help you?
Well, this is question and answer time. I forgot. First off, did I clearly define my business? Do you know what it is? And I need help with marketing, navigating the real estate market. I'm used to personal real estate, but not commercial real estate, so I have no idea what I'm doing. And I do need a space in the North Fort Worth area, which is very expensive, so I'll have to figure that out. And help me figure out what I don't know, because there's a lot I don't know, and I know it.
Okay, I have one. So that would be great to get the word out for like vision boards.
Vision
So like when people are doing like a vision board party, and connecting with Ms. Laura.
I have someone, yeah.
So in the Fort Worth area, you know, because we're trying to, you know, also not always have to go to Dallas. So
Where?
Yes.
What, where?
Yes.
That would be mine.
We're trying to bring it back to Fort Worth, and I know, you know, there's a lot of focus on downtown Fort Worth, which is great. I love to see the revitalization that's going on. But North Fort Worth is growing,
Absolutely.
and there's nothing
And
out
where
there.
is that Alliance area?
Alliance,
Yeah, Keller, South
Keller.
Lake, yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, I know.
Michelle and then Christopher.
So Connie, great job. I know it's a lot to kind of put in your heart and your soul, your family history, so great job on the presentation. So walk us a little bit more about how you plan to make money. I assume you're gonna sell memberships, subscriptions, co-working. I love the idea of having a venue space there. I've got a friend that's launching a craft business that probably you guys need to know about each other if you don't already. So how do you plan to make money beginning and maybe how you might grow that?
Okay. So there will be memberships. Right now I have 3 levels, I believe. How did I do that? I'm still working on the pricing, but besides the memberships, there'll be walk-in guests that can come in, and they can come in for an hour. They can just pay for an hour, or they can pay for all day long. Now, they will have use of some of the equipment and things there, but they will also, I'll have materials and things for them to purchase. If they're a membership, they'll get a discount. There will be, I'll be having classes. I'll invite teachers to come in and have classes, and the members to have classes, so I'll take a profit, off of that. And then the creative entrepreneur part of it, I will have venues such as receptions, and one of the big things that I want to have is called the Honeycomb, and that is a consignment shop. So depending on your membership level will depend on how much of the consignment will come, go to the person, the artist, versus me. Now, if you're not a member, you can still be a part of the consignment shop, and the split will be differently there. So that sounds like fun.
Christopher and then Joan.
When it comes to expanding your business early on, a group you might want to consider would be Amon Carter, Kimball, and the Modern Art Museum. See if you can partner up with any or all of those 3, because I know they do hold workshops that people pay to go to learn more about different art processes and the like, and so they might be interested in working with you on that kind of thing.
Thank you.
Particularly after Amber, so Joan lost my place. Joan, Amber.
Number one, I commend you on your business. I think it's definitely a viable business. I'm gonna suggest that you don't offer walk-ins, that they purchase a membership so you have your constant cash flow coming in. They will purchase the membership at the different levels. They just have to buy according to what they need. That way, if you have an electronic access code, you can limit, because someone's gonna pay for an hour, they're gonna be there 3 hours. So you've lost revenue there. If anything I've learned about being in business, I was so passionate about recycling that that's all I thought about, but I really lost track for a number of years with my business in the financial side. You can't keep the doors open unless the finances are coming in. So I would steer you away from the walk-ins and just focus on your membership. Number 2, do you know how much square footage you're looking for?
I would like to have a minimum of 4,000 square feet.
Okay.
Just at least to start out with. What I would truly love, my vision would be to have like an old house on a couple of acres, where I could start out with a smaller space and then add on to it as I go. I love the Texas flip and move. But I'd love to see something that I could build out like that, and then if I had the acreage, then I could also do the craft shows and things like that and bring that group.
I would highly suggest you start in maybe 2,500 square feet or 3,000 square feet. Those are easily accessible spaces to find for a very low cost, at least for your first and second year. And I can already tell your business is going to be a success. So you can use those years to raise your funding and your finances, and then you can use that money to maybe purchase something. But to put all of that money out there at the beginning, trust me, it's a huge undertaking. So, start small and build from there, and then, really focus on the revenues with your membership. And people pay memberships all the time. I'm guilty of it. I can't tell you how many times I joined a gym and maybe went 3 times out of the whole year, and I'm paying $32 a month. So
Nobody ever does that.
Unheard of.
Make sure that you don't let your passion control your
Finance.
business and get you into trouble.
Yeah, that's where I'm probably struggling with the most is trying to understand the financial part of it and make sure that, you know, I am trying to make it profitable because I am working as a for-profit business and not a.
And I can tell you the last 7 years for my company has gone by with a blink of an eye. Just like that. So, good luck.
Thank you.
Amber?
Hi, have you been, great job, by the way, you did a really good job.
Thank you.
Have you been to Cedars Union?
Cedars Union? No, I have not.
Okay, it's been open maybe, I would say under 2 years, it's in Dallas, and it's a collaborative art space.
Okay.
Membership model, it would be worth taking a look at.
That's one I have not run across in my research. Awesome.
I was impressed with they have some funding, so you're in a different position starting out, but it's definitely a membership model that would be worth taking a look at.
Awesome, thank
Pratik?
you.
Nick?
So, have you visited like different co-working spaces?
Yes,
Like-
and Ensemble is probably my favorite,
Woohoo!
more of the vibe that I'm looking at.
So, if you look at their business model, like Ensemble is one of them, there are others that are out there that you can look at, like how they are getting in the revenue for like what they're doing to build that membership. That's one step. Another thing I was thinking about it, there's a business that I met the owners a few months back. It's out in Grapevine somewhere. And they have a similar concept, but they're doing it for couples and businesses. They do the team building art thing for.
Oh, okay.
So that's you can blend, like if you can visit, I'll find the information for the person, the owners, and I'll share it with you. If you can go and visit their studio and see how they do it and how they blend in so they do it for the team building activities for corporations, not really big like small to medium sized businesses. They do it for couples. They do it like couples that want to like get away and have some intimacy together, like like building, creating something together. That's a really good part that you can blend in with your business.
Yeah. Awesome, thank you.
Okay. Michelle, Nick? Frankie? Yeah. Okay, so, Michelle.
I was just gonna make a plug for, if you can put on your calendar for next year, Fort Worth Business Plan Competition. I know you're aware of it, but just, look at it, apply. It's, I wanna say May, June. It's 5 weeks of classes, but you're at a good point in your business that you might really get a lot out of that competition for next year.
Okay.
And then here's a list of a couple of businesses, and I wrote down the one that Amber suggested too.
Thank you.
Nick?
I was gonna say, yeah, great job. I like the theme, the honeycomb theme, and the busy bee.
And
Yeah,
I left
it's great.
one part out, which really breaks my heart. I will be donating part of my profits to the conservation of honeybees.
Aw.
Definitely do that.
Yes.
Yes, that's great. I love the story of kind of how you got involved with the arts and things. I was gonna say, there's another space that I saw. It's in the North Richland Hills Public Library.
Yes,
Okay.
Maker's Spot, yes.
Okay, that's what it's called? Okay, I went in there one time and I saw it. I didn't remember what it was.
Yes, and that's a great thing. The libraries and the city of Fort Worth is really getting into the Maker area. And the new library on Golden Triangle up there will be having a Maker space as well. So that is really great because we're getting the kids and the education in, and that's a real important piece because you got to get them young and start them up.
Yeah. But it's great that you have all those different revenue streams from the craft side, the event planning side as well, and maybe even selling materials there. And to talk about the size of your space, how much room are you going to have for that kind of woodworking equipment or other kinds of equipment, and what's the safety concerns and liability
There's
issues and some of that
liability.
stuff?
Now, I will start out more on the softer side, the textiles. quilting, sewing, crocheting, and artistic work, painting, watercolors, journaling. But then I do want to grow into more of the woodworking and pottery, crafting, things like that. So I have plans to grow, and I plan to have a photography space where they can come up and set up still lifes or portrait type work, and have the green screen for them. I'd like to have room for podcasters and bloggers to come in.
Yeah, and I saw the sound booth as well, and it sounds all like it fits, but you might just want to pick like a
yeah,
few
let's-
to start with and
then-
find
then
that
expand
size
it.
space that can fit all that. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
and then you can grow your hive. I guess.
Exactly.
The lady in the back.
Yes.
So when we were in the development stage of our business, like the planning and everything like that, we worked really closely with Clay Royal, and he's here on the same campus with the Business Assistance Center.
Okay.
And he can take your ideas and kind of like cost ideas and plug them in to do projections for you. So you can see like what your long-term growth potential is, what you need to start out. And then we actually worked with Clay, and then we worked with Erica in trying to obtain a small business loan. So they kind of go hand in hand, and you can put all of your ideas into like a spreadsheet and see it from like a money perspective,
Awesome.
which was really helpful for us.
Okay. Yeah, that would be great.
Frankie and then Bo, and I think that's all we're gonna talk about.
Yeah, so I love this idea, and I think you did a great job like clearly presenting it. I would say for your presentation, put like your introduction and your story at the front before you just
Yeah,
give some context to like who you are, what we're listening to.
I did that for a reason.
Okay.
Great then. That was a choice, but yes, I would, if it had come down to I had to cut my presentation short.
Gotcha.
I wanted to get the business out there more than myself.
That makes sense. And maybe it's a little bit of both, like introducing the business and then introducing yourself and then going back into the business. But, you know, just to give us some context, just like who you are and why this matters.
Why are you?
Yeah.
Why are you doing this?
And then for like marketing, I would say like it's awesome that you're already having the meetups and have like people, like a community around you, and just really like utilizing those stories. So sitting down with people and saying like, what has it meant for you to have this community and people to like hang out with and create with, so that you can share those on social media. And then also, like you were saying yourself, like you spent so much time on YouTube and Pinterest watching tutorials, which means that you can create, you know, resources like that to, you know, give value to, you know, creative, so that people can find you and see you, you know, while you're in this like stage of rebuilding or just the beginning stages. Yeah, just getting your presence out there on the internet so that people are ready for you when you're ready for them. So.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out Facebook and LinkedIn, you know, all of
I can
those
help
good
with
fun
that.
things.
In someone else's response, she already answered my question that she was going to start with the soft first and then move into the other thing. And about the sound, that's really big. Like having a space that's built for sound creates a whole another stream of income for people who need to do the podcast, but also do voiceover work. There's a lot of filming and voiceover work that has to be done for characters, different actors, things like that. And then also building sets. People need a place to build sets and store sets and pieces. So
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
Well, amazing presentation.
Thank you.
With your cup, this cup was also handcrafted in another area, so don't pay attention to the China.
No, there's no China.
There's no China, that's what that stands for. Handcrafted in another area. So that was created by another organizer who I made cups, Joe Barrett. Yeah, he don't make cups now.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Jennifer is getting ready to do, you remember? Yeah, remember what you're gonna announce, I found it. Okay, so I'm gonna hand it over to Sandra Bear, and she's gonna close us out. Oh, and come back next week, and you are allowed to wear ugly sweater, but I guarantee you, just saying. My sweater will be the ugliest in the room. You can't finish? Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, I got it right here. The Instagram crash course is going to be the 5 B's of successful content, and it's going to be held at Common Ground Workspace with Albert Perez. A 20-year-old is going to tell us all about Instagram. And again, we have the 15% discount. And then on December the 14th.
What date was that, Sandra?
December the 12th.
The 12th? Tomorrow?
Tomorrow. December the 14th, if you know people that are interested in getting their children involved in STEM, XLab, my XLab projects with a purpose is on December the 14th. They will take your children and they will teach them an idea on how to make it go into from creation to fruition. And that is on Saturday, December the 14th, and it is in Plano. And then the applications for Entrepreneur of Excellence are open for January the 17th. And it is the FortWorthTexas.com/business entrepreneur of excellence. Now, we're gonna learn this. We're trying to get all this stuff to work, and we will get there. So just bear with us while we're.
And also, while they're doing that too, we have a 1 Million Cups Fort Worth Facebook group page. And there's a calendar on that Facebook group page. So if you have an event, you are welcome to post it on that calendar. We also encourage you to post it on that calendar. Did you have something?
I do. My next crafters meetup is Monday the 16th, if anybody would like to join us. We're at Axiom Coffee on Golden Triangle.
Awesome. Yes.
That's a good coffee spot.
6 to 9.
Can you put that on the calendar?
I can put that on the calendar.
Okay, yeah, just go to the group page, go to events, click on events, and you create an event.
Okay.
So that calendar is open for anyone that wants to post an event on there.
There.
Yay.
Joe got it.
Not just a pretty face.
All righty, well, thank you. Oh,
I don't know where Walker went, but I also work here at Accelerate DFW Foundation, and I just wanted to let you guys know, one of the reasons we're excited about 1 Million Cups being back in this building is because we want you to all feel welcome and take advantage of all the resources, not only on the campus, but in this building. You're welcome to stay and work with us. The Wi-Fi password is there, and on the whiteboards in the next room, the collaboration room has adjustable desks. Pick a spot and hang out as long as you like. Visit whenever you need to get done.
and what's your name again?
Amber.
So we so appreciate Accelerate DFW. We are so happy to be here and on a community campus that has plenty of resources for entrepreneurs. So go connect, engage, and learn. Thank you.
Thank you. Everybody, stick around and mingle.